I was like, okay, we've made it past our first trimester. We are good to go. It should be smooth sailing from here on. Right at week 16, I believe it was a Friday. I was at work, and a couple of my coworkers had asked, man, are you okay today? Like, something right? And I said, no, I'm okay. And Katie and I, we had been talking. And I had asked her, I take that back. She had made the comment that she said about week 14 is usually when I have felt all my prior babies kick. Week 14 went by, nothing. Week 15 went by, nothing. I was a little worried in the back of my mind, but I didn't think a whole lot about it. Week 16 came along, and my coworkers were like, oh, what's wrong with you? Are you okay? And I was like, I'm just a little worried. I said, Katie said that she usually feels her baby's kick at week 14, and it's already week 16 and nothing. They were like, oh, I'm sure it's fine. I was like, okay. So the whole entire weekend, I was just a fretting mess. I didn't call her to have her go to the doctor. I did text her and say, do you think that's weird? Or do you have you felt anything or whatever? And she's like, no. She was real sweet. She said, no, you'd be the first one to know. And I said, okay. I said, well, just have a good weekend. Enjoy your time with your family. She said, Dana, she said, this baby is tucked in for the long haul. We are good to go. And at that point in time, she had been sending snapshots every single week of her tummy getting bigger and bigger. It was so cute. And so I kind of left it alone. I came home and I told my mom, I said, Mom, I'm just a little worried that she's not felt the baby kick. And Mom was like, oh, I said, I think that's why I've been grouchy lately. And she said, okay, not a problem. Tuesday comes around. The night before, I text Katie and I said, I'm so excited to see you, because I hadn't seen her in a week or so. I said, I'm super excited to see you. I said, but don't be surprised if at that doctor visit tomorrow, I'm just all over that belly, because I need to, touch and love and kiss and hug and do everything else. She goes, girl, you're just fine. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing. I said, okay. I went to bed Monday night, and when I woke up Tuesday, I didn't want to get out of the bed, and I didn't want to go to the doctor. And so I got up and I drove to Willowbrook, and I went to the doctor, and I met Katie there. And I thought, oh my gosh, I saw Katie, and I gave her a hug, but I couldn't even touch her belly. I don't know if that was just a mother's instinct of knowing that something was wrong, or I'm not sure. And so we went back. The nurse called us back, and we went back, and the first girl came in and tried to do a Doppler to get a heartbeat. She couldn't do it. The second girl came in and tried to get a heartbeat. She couldn't do it. The third girl came in, still no heartbeat. And I think in the back of my mind, I just kept preparing myself. I truly feel like I knew before I even walked into that doctor's office that day. I think I know the exact day that it happened, because I'd been so grouchy all week the week before, just not myself. And so they called the OB-GYN in, and he came in and did a normal visit, and he said, okay, girls, is there anything else you need? And before I could even get it out, Katie said, your nurses couldn't get a heartbeat. And he was like, what are you talking about? He said, okay, let me go get the Doppler. So he dug and dug and dug and dug. Still couldn't get one, and I was sweating by this point. I had taken my sweater off. I was just about to lose it. And so he said, okay, well, I'm gonna go get the ultrasound machine. And so when he walked out, I asked Katie, I said, are you worried? And she said no, and I already knew. And so I was trying to help her prepare for what we were about to see. And the doctor came in, and he put the ultrasound probe on her tummy. And the very first swipe, there was my little girl just from Dover, no movement, no anything. And so I told the doctor, I was like, stop. He was like, I can't. I said, okay. Poor Katie, she just latched on really fast, and I knew. And so he said I have to go get a second opinion, and I said, okay. So we went and got the ultrasound tech and brought her in there, and she confirmed, in fact, that my little girl had passed away. And so they measured, and she was measuring about 15 and a half weeks. I had no clue what to ask. I didn't know how to react. I didn't know what to do. I was there. And so Katie started asking all these questions. You know, what are we going to do? How do we, what? And so the OB-GYN said, okay, well, we're going to have to deliver her. And I thought, oh my. I cried probably harder than I've ever cried in my life. This was a pain that, beyond cancer, beyond trials and tribulations of life, beyond anything, was devastating. I was a broken, shattered woman, because that little baby that was supposed to be here in just 20-something more weeks was no longer coming. Thursday morning, my mom and I went and met Katie and her husband at Methodist Willowbrook and delivered a baby. I had no clue of what to expect that day. Honestly, I thought it was just going to be a hot mess, is really what I anticipated. And on the way to the hospital that morning, you know, my friends had been asking me, what can we do? What can we do? What can we do? And I said, can you just pray for me? Because I can't pray. I can't talk to God right now. It was just tough. It was super tough. And so they did that for me. That whole entire experience, what I expected to be so terrible and so rough and tough and one of the ugliest days of my life, could not have been any more beautiful than what they were. They broke the bed apart and put her in stirrups, and I crawled up in that bed as close as I could possibly get to my sweet Katie, because there were a lot of things going through my mind at that time. That should be me in that bed. And it's not, it's my friend. And this girl is delivering my lifeless child. And I know that was a lot of pressure for her. So I needed her to know that I was as supportive as I possibly could be. Right before everything started, I don't even know who mentioned it, but someone had said, can we say a prayer? And I was like, ooh, that needs to be me, even though I could not even talk to God that morning on the way. God, I thank you so much for sweet Katie. There's no way in the world I could have done this without her. God, most of all, I thank you for my sweet little girl. Lord, thank you for letting me feel all the love that I've been able to feel and that I will continue to feel. God, I just pray that you would help us heal and to move forward, but not ever forget our sweet little Lydia in our hearts. God, I thank you so much for making me a mom and for giving me all the desires of my heart. Lord, I just pray that you guide Dr. McGurk through all of this. Use his hands as your own. And I pray that everything goes smoothly and wonderfully and beautifully, just as you knew it would before we were all even placed on this earth. Lord, thank you for every single person in this room and for this beautiful, beautiful day. In your name I pray, amen.
Hi, I'm Crystal. Dana and I have been friends since kindergarten. She's an amazing woman and deserves to have her arms filled with the child she has waited and prayed for so long now. We are asking for your help. If you want to help, there are many ways to get involved. First, you can donate. Dana would never ask, but the cost for adoption or IVF and surrogacy is astounding. Secondly, if you know someone who is in need and wants to find a child-loving home, please feel free to contact us directly at the link below. Sometimes through situations like these, God ever so gracefully intervenes, and through the sharing of this story, Dana can get matched with the child God intended just for her. Thirdly, please pray for Dana and ask for God's plans to unfold clearly for her. Thank you for sharing this story with your family and friends and for giving to a woman that is so deserving.